Gilbert Nichols. I'm out here standing next to this new car lot to give you the 10 money-saving tips for new car owners. Now, the new car owners I'm addressing are teenagers. Yes, there's others who are capable of being a new car owner, but teenagers oftentimes, unfortunately, in this environment and culture we're in today, many times are the children to single-parent family homes, and so many times in upbringing, one thing that is usually left out is how to take care of your car so your car will take care of you. So be that as it may, I want to be able to offer some tips, money-saving tips, that teenagers can use as being the proud owners of a new car. Well, it may be new to you, it may not be new to the rest of the world, but it's in your hands now, and so there's ways to making it affordable so that you can enjoy for years to come a vehicle that will look good and act promptly so that you can be safe on the road and keep others safe. The number 10, as we go 10 to 1, not necessarily in this order do they share the priorities, but number 10 is preventive maintenance. Now that sounds like common sense, but doing oil changes and tune-ups go a long way towards saving money. You want to be able to get your oil changed at least every 3,000 miles or 3 months, whichever comes first. As oil begins to break down over time, and especially with long distance travel or just a lot of miles on your car, you need that oil to be able to lubricate all the parts in a proper way so that you can be able to keep that car running long term. Now another tip that is kind of like this is not taught even by a lot of the people today, and that is when you start your car in the morning, especially in the morning when it's been sitting all night, and this is especially true during the winter months when the engine is real cold. And when you first get started and you turn that ignition and you start your car, oftentimes many people will just instantly throw it into reverse and back out of their space and drive off immediately thereafter, and not realize that it may take just a few, at least a minute or two or more to get that oil to get lubricating through the engine. So this is a big money-saving tip for you. You need to pay attention for number 9, because what you want to do is you want to preserve the life of that engine, and what happens is if oil is not there or it's not warmed up enough to where it starts doing its best quality, which is to cut down on friction and wear, then you're going to have more engine trouble down the road. So that's something to bear in mind, and I would highly recommend you check it out, and get it validated with mechanics. Make sure that what I'm saying is accurate, because you want to make sure that you take care of that car like you're taking care of your own baby. Now, I don't say put a diaper on it, but you do want to make it look presentable and behave properly. And money tip number 8 is along with getting an oil change, along with letting your car idle for a few minutes before you get going in the morning, is to make sure that your tire pressure is in up to what it's supposed to be. The tires each come with their own marking as to what their tire pressure should be, and typically it's anywhere from 32 to 35 pounds per square inch, or PSI, and so it's important that you keep it at that level at all times, especially when you are driving around on hot pavement and in a hot day, and you want to be able to keep your tires well inflated. This is a money-saving tip. Not only does it save you gas to have those tires at the proper inflation, but also that you would also have less wear and tear on the tire itself. The less wear and tear means you don't have to replace them as often, and that's a good thing. Now, it seems like all these have to do with tires, but there's another factor that is very important, teenagers, I want you to bear in mind. I was guilty of doing this. I paid the price for it. It's not a fun price to pay. But when you go speeding down the, to see your friends at the apartments and you hit a speed bump at full speed, what does that do? Oftentimes what it does is it tears up the front end, or at least will take out the front end alignment, which is necessary for keeping your car on the road, and so you'll find out when you do that, you hit a pothole or you hit a you hit a puddle too hard. Believe it or not, driving through the rain, if you see a standing water somewhere and you plow through it at high speed, you actually could bend the rocker arm and the idle arm that are necessary for stabilizing your front vehicle tires to the axle. And if you bend those, then you could also have wear and tear on your car unnecessarily. And again, like I said, I'm saying this so that you could say, okay, Gilbert, you sound like my dad. Well, if your dad didn't say this, then I don't sound like him. But if your dad's not around, then hey, take it from me. I got 4 kids, and I try to instill with them how they need to take care of their vehicles, so we'll take care of them. Now, that was point number 8, I believe, or 7. But anyway, going on from here, we got another critical thing is that when you go, driving around, you'll find yourself, of course, using up gas naturally. But if you want to try and save gas, not only do you do these things with your tires, but you also, when you drive, if your car has cruise control, use it. Use it as often as you can when you're on the highway, because it will indeed save fuel for you, in the long run. You want to be able to get as many miles per gallon as you can out of your car, so that you can enjoy it for years to come, and it not cost you. It seems like some cars, their miles per gallon is so bad that it seems like they're just going from gas station to gas station. I know that's an exaggeration, but some people, they speed up and slow down, instead of taking life a little easier, and consequently they'll use up a lot of gas that way. Or they will do, as many times you'll see police cars and others that have to be ready and going, they'll leave their car idling, and when you do that, of course, you're just burning gas needlessly. So turn the car off when you're sitting there for more than a minute, so that you can be able to save the fuel that way. Another point that you want to take advantage of, and this is something that, like I said, when you drive around and you start to get your tank near empty, what happens there is that when you continue to do that, you run the risk of building condensation inside the fuel tank. That condensation will cause the metal tank to rust, and that rust will flake off when you fill the tank back up again. And it will clog your fuel filter. So even though it's necessary to make sure your fuel filter is clean, you shouldn't have to replace it as often. And so my recommendation to you, as a very, very vital tip, is make make sure that you fill up your tank when it's down at halfway. And that's just a good practice to be in, whether you're traveling or you're just commuting day by day. And another tip that goes along with that is very important is that when you go to a gas station, you see them pumping gas into from the fuel tank truck or the truck into the ground, refilling the reservoir. That's not usually a good time to go pick up to get gas, because they're stirring up sediment in the bottom of that underground tank that could, even though there's filters between the tank and your pump handle, still it doesn't filter out everything, and you can get some of that debris into your gas tank, which, like I said, will clog up the fuel filter. And so wait until the truck is gone, and or go to another station. It's better to do that Also, along with that is if you see a gas station that looks like it's been there for 80 years, chances are their tanks underground have been there a long time too. And some of those old tanks used to get real dirty and rusty. So, I highly recommend the new Racetrack, new Quick Trips, the new Shells, some of these new stations that are popping up around the neighborhoods, to go there, because you can rest assured the quality of gasoline will be a lot better because they do not have that sediment built up, down below. And also, another money-saving tip of the 10 money-saving tips that I want to recommend has to do with when you are, when you're doing things with your, vehicle, as far as driving around, is to not do things that distract you from what you should be doing, which is watching the road. When you're playing with a radio or CD player, when you are texting, when you choose to drink alcohol, which of course is a wrong thing. When you choose to be doing a lot of things with your hands. Some people, you make jokes about it. Women, will put on their makeup on their way to work. Men will be grooming themselves, maybe checking out the hairs in their nose or shaving their face or whatever, something you see I haven't done this morning. But what you see is that these are distractions that can, really, hey, well, if you get pulled over, or because you're weaving on lanes, or you're causing an accident, or you're in an accident, and you're cited for, distracted driving, then, yay, that's money you could have saved otherwise, couldn't it? Well, also, you consider, another money-saving tip for new drivers is defensive driving. Now, I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, because I know a lot of school systems today don't teach it as they did for me, and so you have to go out and you have to get defensive driving courses. But it's good to be able to stay on top of that and find out, what you should do to evade accidents, to avoid circumstances where you could, put yourself and others in your car in harm's way. Little things that can make a big difference. Paying attention to, alerts and sirens and symbols and emergency vehicles and staying out of harm's way. And also keeping a good distance between you and the person in front of you. One good tip that a driver's ed teacher taught me was that if you took the front edge of your car and just imagine that you are pulling up behind somebody, and the front edge of your car, right on the front edge, looks like it comes right to the bottom edge of the tires of the vehicle in front of you. That constitutes a safe distance between you and the car in front of you when you're stopped at a traffic light, and or just in regular traffic. Because if that car ahead of you stalls, or cars in front, stall or get into an accident, you have ample room to pull your car out and get out of that situation. If you pull up too close to where it looks like you're ready to, to read the fine print on the bumper sticker of the guy in front of you, then you are too close. Chances are the person behind you is also too close. It may not be a way for you to get out so easily. So that's just a quick little thing, just to, like I said, because, hey, some of these things just aren't taught. Now, one thing I do want to tell you, a simple little tip that you may or may not have heard over time. It's called lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, okay? What is all that about? When you have to go change your tire, it's very important that when you get your jack out of the car, and you put that under the frame, and you get ready to take the lug nuts off of the wheel, that you go left to loosen it, you go right to tighten it. Okay, so and with that in point, a good money-saving tip to keep away from injury and harm to your vehicle as well as to yourself. Make sure your car's brake is set when you are preparing to jack it up, so it doesn't roll and damage it or cause it to fall on you or somebody else. So Just a little tip there. And then, like I said, you want a money-saving tip? Get to know your vehicle. And get to know in such a way, I mean, read the owner's manual. Hey, you're the owner now, so it's time for you to step up and say, hey, I need to know where the fuse panel is. That's a good little point to know, is where the fuse panel is and where's a little extracting tool that goes with it so you can pull a bad fuse out. Because sometimes you go pushing on a cigarette lighter too hard, when you're charging up your phone, and it will blow the fuse. How do you change that? Well, you go to that book, you see the troubleshooting guide in the back of the book for fuses, and you pick out the one that's bad, replace it with an identical one that may be a spare close to it. So, again, like I said, these are all money-saving tips for new car drivers. And I hope that you got something out of this. I hope that if you like this, that you'd read the rest of the information below and you leave a comment. I'm also, I'm video blogging here, which is getting to be more and more the rave as people are using their cell phones for giving video reports and such. And so what we want to do is, I want to invite you to check it out. This is not only a hobby of mine, but it's a business. I help people to make money online from home, making blog posts that pertain to different things like this. And if you like this, hey, there's a link below. Click on that. Give me your email. I'll take care of it. It goes into my list, so I don't spam people. And sign up today. It only costs $25 to get started, and could be a great way for you to supplement your income until you get the job of your choice, if that's what you prefer to do, or you can work for yourself, as many people I know are doing, and making a very good income in the process, as I am doing. So check it out, and give me your thoughts. Give me your feedback. I appreciate your time. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you have a great day. You absolutely deserve it.